1 week, well, 6 days removed from Rebellion, we get this show. Now, you've already seen my video on Rebellion, so the only thing I'm going to say is the quality there is the same as quality for this show, which is a good thing. And I do have something I got to say about Rebellion after this, but essentially, the quality of the show was pretty good. There wasn't that bad camera angles, there was good, semi-good audio. There was kind of breakdown in the beginning to the middle of the show. But here was the thing that was a major problem for me, was the Twitch stream. Now, the stream was becoming laggy. Now, it could be because traffic was pretty heavy, but it didn't go beyond 6,000 people. So it might have been on the other end. And since they were in Philly, you never know how good the internet is from city to city. It could be funny. Now, Melissa had returned to do the stream. And I've said this already, I'll say it again. She's probably and is seemingly a very sweet woman. You would either want to be her friend, you wish she was your girlfriend, or you wish you were Brian Cage and let her be the mother of your kids. Me, I'd rather have her as a girlfriend. I never want kids again. But you get my point. As a person, she seems like a wonderful person. But as a streamer, especially after she said, and there's a lot more that goes to this, but I'll try and make it as short as possible. She said that she managed to keep her laptop, that it didn't die. It got wet, a good cup of water, glass of water got poured over it, and it still functions. Well, that's good that you still managed to keep it. But why in the blue hell are you still doing things like you did before? Because she said she was eating, and she pulled a hot dog that was literally in front of her. So that means not that she could have said, you know what, I learned a lesson. She could have said, you know what, after what happened, I learned a lesson not to eat or drink in front of my laptop. Nope. She's still doing exactly the same thing. She's got something in front of her to eat. She's on a laptop, probably the same one, and I don't think she learned anything. Now, there might be a little bit of an interest though there, because she was being seen on looks like the stream was being shown on some screens in front of her. So everyone was watching. Everyone was seeing how the stream was, and periodically, and this is the only reason I watched her, because honestly, she's not interesting to me. Yes, she's a beautiful woman. She's lovely to stare at. She has a beautiful voice. She's not a bad lady. But as a streamer, she's just not interesting to me. So usually when she does her segments, I usually mute it and check something else. But this time I watched because the Rascals were there, Matt Stryker was there, Killer Cross scared the living hell out of her. You had Tessa Blanchard show up, showing a bit of muscle. Woman was showing some muscle. Then you had, and I think they were staying in character, which was obvious they were staying in character. You got a Taya Valkyrie messing with a Melissa Santos. And it makes me think they're trying to maintain this. Of course, they're trying to maintain the characters. But maybe they're actually going to do something between Melissa and Taya. And I know you're going to say, are you serious? I do not want to see Melissa Santos. Maybe she may look ripped and muscled out for a mother of one or two. But I don't want to see her wrestle. I'm not saying for her to wrestle. I'm saying, as I said in my Rebellion review, it was missing something, and Melissa should have been there. Because it was obvious that Taya was messing with Brian Cage. So it might have been interesting for her to come from the back, go into the ring and do something. So maybe they're going to reach a point with this, where she's going to take no more and smack the living taste out of a Taya Valkyrie. I'm not saying she's going to wrestle. Probably someone will be a proxy for her. But at least it'll be something different. That's what I was thinking. And now let's get into the show. First thing I want to talk about is the match between Petey Williams and Ace Austin. Now, I like Ace Austin. He's got a great ability. But here's the problem. That match was too long. I felt it was way too long for what it was. And I did not like it. I didn't like that it was that long. It felt like it was dragging by the end of it. Not saying they were doing bad work. Not saying they were having bad chemistry. Because I just had to think about it just to make sure before I say it. Am I wrong or am I right? And I do believe I'm right. They didn't need to make it that long. I think it was nearly 8 to 10 minutes. Nearly 10 minutes or more. I think 10 minutes. It could have been shortened down to 8 to 5 minutes of a match. That match did not need to be that long. PD could have easily still jobbed and done a good job. And Ace Austin could have still got to win. It could have just been shorter. Now, the next thing is about, and this is the thing I'm confused about. Not because of the storyline, but just something is irking me so bad. And that's the Kiera Hogan and Rosemary match. That didn't make a lot of sense to me. It's not the fact that Rosemary is fighting against Kiera Hogan. It could still be that Rosemary just doesn't want Kiera to get involved. She doesn't want to get hurt, so she's going to beat the crap out of her to keep her out of the business. And then you have the undead bridesmaid, which I thought maybe she would start breaking down, but there's a reason for that. And then there was the match itself. And this is the thing that's getting me, that I'm confused about. Why Kiera Hogan is a good wrestler. I know a lot of people don't like her that much, but Kiera actually is a very good wrestler. For me personally, she's a very good wrestler. For others, she might be an average, okay wrestler. And then you have Rosemary, who at one point was one of the best female wrestlers they had in the company. And now she's so sluggish, so slow. And it looks like she can't take a bump very well. She looks so bad. I don't know why they're doing this. I don't know why Rosemary's like this. And it can't just be because she's gained weight. There is something seriously wrong with Rosemary. And if it is because she gained weight, baby, I love you. I love your boobs. I'm talking, if Rosemary was told about this video, and I say this to the actual lady, I think you're probably one of the sweet ladies I've heard about. Heard that you're a nice person. You like to stay in character, and you like to do your business properly. So I respect that. And for what I've also heard listening around, that you're probably a nice person. But here's the thing, honey. If this is because you gain weight, and I'm not saying to be a skinny piece of ass, and I'm not saying to get a boob job, to be a freaking blonde. You are known as a great wrestler. And it's because of your increased weight that's causing you to look bad. You need to change your style. And if you think you can continue the style that you have right now, while you're at this heavier weight, or maybe your knee is messed up and it's not working for you and you're having problems, you need to change your style 100%. You cannot stay as the old Rosemary. The Rosemary that I knew would not be that so sluggish and that botchy. It looked horrid. And it was Kiera Hogan who had to try and carry that match. And mind you, Kiera's a good wrestler, but she's not an adaptive wrestler. An adaptive wrestler is someone who knows, and I repeat this again, someone who knows how to take anyone and make them something special. And Kiera is not that type of a wrestler. She's a good wrestler, but she can't make herself and someone else look great. She can make them maybe look a little good, but she's not that great in the business yet. She's only been in like 6 or 7 years. Sometimes you need to be a little bit more seasoned to really gain an ability to be able to make another person look good along with yourself. And she's just not it. And that match just didn't look right. In the end, supposedly the match was ended because Su Yung came out with the undead bridesmaids. And then we get that moment of Kiera thinking of getting into the ring. And she decides, nope, I'm not going to do it. And then Rosemary gets her ass handed to her. And this is a very confusing thing for me right now at this point. Because what are you going to do? You got one of two ways you're going down here, Impact Wrestling. One, you're going to have Rosemary go to Su Yung. And that will probably be the wisest thing to do. Because Rosemary's not getting anywhere. And then you're going to have her going with Kiera Hogan. Unless the bunny comes back, and we don't know if Allie's coming back. How long it's going to be. Because she may be going to AEW, and staying there for a while. Or somewhere else. She may go to Shimmer, she may go to ROH. I don't think she's going to WWE. If she goes to WWE, in the condition she was in, it will look bad. I wouldn't want to see her there as Cherry Bomb. But I'm just saying, it looks like they may go towards Kiera Hogan becoming friends again with her, or they're going to have her join Su Yung. And I'm talking about Rosemary, either or. And if they don't do either one of those, this makes no sense. It just doesn't. I'm sorry. Now, we had the Eddie Edwards and Phoenix match, which was way better than Petey Williams and Ace Austin. And it could be due to the fact that, how can I say this? I didn't hate the Petey Williams and Ace Austin match. It was good. They had good high flying. But when you compare it to the Eddie Edwards and Phoenix match, it was actually a better match. And I kind of wish it was longer. Now here's the thing. And I'm saying this for all the fans of Killer Kross. What did I say? What did I say? Where is Killer Kross getting a benefit being in the main title scene? Where is he getting a benefit not working with Moose? Where is he now? Is he going to have a feud now with Eddie Edwards? Or if they're smart, they will now pair Killer Kross with Eddie Edwards. If they go with a feud between Eddie Edwards and Killer Kross, I think it's going to be a big mistake. Because honestly, it's not going to give Killer Kross anything, and neither will it give Eddie Edwards. If you're going to do something with both of them, team them both up. Since they're both a little nuts, it would make better sense. Even though I'd rather see Eli with Eddie, but Eli is gone. This is what you could get. Now, I'm sure people are not going to like it, but it's all we got. So now, we have the Falaba. What was that? You got, now, let me back up, because it's kind of hard to explain this. You have OVE saying that my little brother, I love him, but he's still resisting me. Well, I'm going to have a fight with him next week. Get your family, if you have any, and then we're going to have an OVE match next week. Which makes no sense. This feud is over. It's over. Richard Swann has won over OVE and Sami Callihan multiple times now. What is the point of this storyline? And then you're going to have, if I'm remembering correctly, Tommy Dreamer. You're going to have Richard Swann. You're going to have who else? Falaba. And there was somebody else. I can't remember who else was there. Oh, it's Rich. You got Tommy Dreamer. No. Who? I think Willie Mack is joining as well. I could be wrong, but I can't remember who the fourth person was. It's Falaba, Tommy Dreamer, and Richard Swann. I don't remember who the last person was. Anyway, this doesn't make any sense to me. Right now, the story's done. Richard Swann retained his X Division title. Where are they going with this? It makes no sense. It makes no sense. If he had turned heel and then starts having a match and a feud with Willie Mack, then it would be interesting. That would be interesting. But as it stands, there's nothing there. I don't see anything here. I just don't. And I'm confused why it's still going on. Alright, Taya and Melissa were doing an interview, and I'm not sure where they're going with Madison Rayne. Now, they may actually give her a title run. I don't know. But this could be just to do more for Taya. I'm not sure if this is necessary. If it's for Tessa, I understand it. But for Taya, who's involved in a storyline with her husband, this doesn't really feel like it's necessary. And then you still have Melissa Santos being harassed by Taya Valkyrie because of Brian Cage. Because it's obvious that Brian Cage is her man and they got a kid together, so they're playing with this. If they do not eventually go down the route of Melissa Santos finally getting sick of this and smacking the taste out of Taya Valkyrie's mouth and maybe having a Madison Rayne being the proxy in the ring, this will make no sense when it comes to Taya Valkyrie and Melissa Santos. Unless Melissa's actually going to wrestle, which I think will be ridiculous. I don't think it'll work. RVD had his segment. He's back. And he pretty much said, I'm not going to say how great the people are here. You already know. But I want them to understand, since they're imitating me, they need to understand how imitation is no comparisons to the whole effing show. I almost botched that. I think I did. Anyway, the person that comes out, and I thought it would be somebody different. I thought it would be somebody who's a high flyer. Maybe one of the guys from Rascals. Maybe, who else would be really good for it? Ace Austin might have came out instead of having the Petey Williams match. Or hell, Petey Williams could have came out and messed with him. It was Ethan Page. And I'm going, really? You're going down that route with Ethan Page? Ethan Page is not a high flyer. In fact, I think it would have been better if it was a high flyer that he dealt with than a ground wrestler like an Ethan Page. But Ethan brings in 2 chairs. And he says, wait. Not trying to start nothing. I just want to show you a new way to use your chairs. And he sits on them. Are you serious? That was just dumb. It's been in my face, I'm sure of it. That was just dumb. But it was, to a certain extent, funny. But he does say, look, you said everybody in the back imitates you, looks up to you. I ain't looking up to you. I ain't imitating you. And then RVD says, well, you are looking up at me. And everyone started laughing. That is a very corny joke. But he was sitting and it did make some sense, even though it was damn corny. Essentially speaking, what this comes down to is a match. And I believe it's either this weekend at Code Red or next week. I think it is this week at Code Red. The pay-per-view they're going to be doing, if it's a pay-per-view. No, it's an exclusive on Impact Plus. I'll talk about that in a minute. But essentially speaking, I don't know if I'm going to be interested in that. But I can't say I'm not going to be interested in it. And also, Moose is taking the place of Ethan Page on the North so he can go up against LAX since they do have the titles. And LAX is supposedly getting ready for the North. Since now the feud they have between the Lucha Brothers is over and the Lucha Brothers are now broken up and now they are now singles wrestlers again. This is going to be interesting. In the sense that you don't know if they're going to try and put all 4 titles on all 4 guys. The LAX with the tag titles, Phoenix with the X Division, and Pentagon Jr. with the world title. They could try and do that, which I don't know if that's going to be a great interest. But I'm not saying it's a bad interest either. Honestly, I don't know how they're going to book it. I just don't know. It's going to be a question. Finally, if I'm forgetting anything, I am very sorry. And there's the closing of the show. Oh, wait. Almost forgot one thing. The Gail Kim vid pack putting over herself, but more putting over Tessa Blanchard. She explained the reason why she did what she did. And she wanted to really help Tessa to pass the torch. Good. I'm fine with it. Then you show the scene after Rebellion when Telly was there and hugged his daughter. And he told her, I'm proud of you. You did great. Go get changed. We're going to eat. And they gave a segment that I believe, and I'm saying this 100%. If you compare Telly Blanchard video package, his talk, compared to Ric Flair, when his daughter was working and still works for the WWE, Telly's is way more profound. Because if you see Telly compared to Rick, you have seen Rick having to do everything possible to put over his daughter. Telly doesn't have to do that. And I'm not saying Tessa is perfect. She's not. She's still learning. She's not using every move of her dad and her stepdad of Magnum TA. She's using her own moveset. She's her own woman. So him doing this actually is way more effective than Ric Flair trying to put over Ashley, which is Charlotte Flair. Charlotte is imitating her father to a T. And when it comes to Tessa, she's not doing that. She's acting the way she wants. She may have some of her dad's fire and his attitude to a certain extent. But you could tell it's Tessa. It's not Telly. And when you see Charlotte, it's Rick all the way with Charlotte. So I will say, nice work. Finally, the last match of the night. The triple threat of Pentagon Jr., what is the guy? Michael Elgin, and Johnny Evil. Opening of the show. Michael Elgin comes out. I believe I'm pronouncing his name right. If I'm wrong, I'm sorry. Since I've never seen him wrestle before, this was new to me. I never heard of him and never seen it. I never seen New Japan, so if he's been there, I just didn't know. I'm just rambling. Let me put it to you in this respect. The video segment, the promo that he had in the ring with Johnny Impact was very stale. I just didn't like it. It felt like it was not scripted, but it didn't feel like it was spontaneous. It felt empty. They were trying to one-up one another, trying to mess with one another, but honestly, it felt a little dull. Now, maybe it's because this is the first time I've seen Michael and how he does his promos. That might actually be his style, and I'll have to get used to it. But when you pair him up against Johnny, whose style can be monotone like Randy Orton to a certain extent, it felt very stale. Felt not boring, but like it was lacking something. Then you get Conan coming in saying simply, I am now the manager of Pentagon Jr. and he wants that title. Now, I would have liked him to say, I want Pentagon Jr. to get the shot that he didn't deserve, he didn't get. Because if I remember correctly, when Pentagon dropped the title, he didn't get a rematch. So he could have said, Pentagon didn't get his rematch, and it's finally time to give him that damn rematch. Now, I will say I did like the part when Michael Elgin had said to both of them, you guys like to talk. You like to talk, you like to talk. I like to do action. And I want you to go into the back, Conan, and give this to your boy. And he grabs him like he's going to attack him. And then Conan comes out. I would have liked it if they had not played the music. And Conan's partner in crime, a Pentagon Jr., just ran from the back. No music. He didn't even give them a chance to play the music. He just ran out. That would have been a better way to do it. In the end, it was a fight. And now we get this match of a triple threat at the end of the night to see who becomes the #1 contender. Now, this is where things get a little confusing for me. Now, understand that the match was good. I'm not going to say it wasn't. It was a good match. But here's the thing. Josh Matthews said that now you're going to have Johnny Evil. He didn't say Johnny. I see Johnny Evil. Johnny getting this opportunity to be the #1 contender when even if he loses, he's #1 contender. He's still #1 contender. That's what he said. So when the match was over and Michael Elgin won, now he said that Michael Elgin is the only contender. So when did that part come in where Johnny Evil could still be in the championship title match at Code Red? So unless I heard it wrong, and probably I did, you guys tell me below if I'm wrong or right about that. Because as far as I know, and remember, he legitimately said that. So now, you got Elgin, who is now in the main title scene, going up against the Brian Cage, who is actually injured, from what I understand. Was this a good show? It was okay. Will it build into Code Red? No. I'm sorry, Code Red is too close to Rebellion. And it didn't really feel like it was a build going into Code Red. Since it's exclusive on the... I want to say it in this respect. I'm glad they changed the GWN to Impact Plus, instead of it being something Jeff Jarrett had created. But here's the thing. If you're going to do these, you got to make sure you spread them out properly and not overlap any pay-per-views or any special themed impacts, because you just had Rebellion, now you're going to have Code Red. There's been almost no build going into House of Glory. So I feel very uncomfortable about this situation, because they could be doing this from now on when they have themed impacts. That weekend, they have that special on Impact Plus, which it really needs like 2 weeks or 3 weeks of build. If they book it like a few days after that Impact and there's no build going into it, it just feels like a waste of time. So that's what I'm worried about. But it was an okay show. It wasn't great, but it was okay. And the last thing I want to talk about is, I'm not the type of person that brags or anything, but I do want to say one thing You know what? This is not Zane. This is the guy who's behind this, who's in front of this camera, the person you all know and love, if you love me at all. The guy who's nearly 48 years old, who came on YouTube because of depression. And admittedly, in the last couple of months, I've been going through some stress, so I've been depressed. I have been. And when Rebellion came, I was interested in doing it, but I was almost to the point of not doing it. So I want to say thank you to anyone who watched it. And I'm sure I'm not going to get 2,400, 2,500 people watching this. I may just get the regular 100 or 50 people who've seen my videos. Just thank you. Any nice word was the most greatest gift I could have. And this is not something I'm used to doing. It's very awkward. But I want to say thank you. I don't have to do this. I know not everyone does it. But for me, I'm the type of person that wants to give respect when I'm getting it. I really do put a lot of effort into these videos. They're not easy to edit and put images into it. It takes like an hour and a half to do it. And I'm exhausted by the time I go to bed, maybe 3, 4 in the morning when I do this. And I do it because I do love it, and I want to show you guys respect. I'm trying to do the best job I can. And that 2,400, 25 I think now, but that was a shock. Within 9 hours, it got almost 1,000 people. And I never had that ever in any of the videos, even when they went over 1,000. Not within one day like that. So, thank you. It sounds so corny. Oh my gosh, but I had to do it. Have a good day, have a good night, and maybe I might do Code Red. Please tell me if you want me to do it. Just tell me in the comments if I can catch it. Peace!